Hello, my Richies, and welcome back to another episode of the Make Life Rich Movement podcast. My name is Sara. I'm your host. And in today's episode, we're talking about me turning 40. This coming Saturday, if you're listening to this on Thursday, May 1st, I will be turning 40 on Saturday. And I am absolutely overjoyed to have made it to 40. Aging and every day that we are given is such a blessing. And I am absolutely so thankful for turning 40. It came here rather quickly, I will say. And in my head, I still feel like I'm 25, but there's something to be said about 40. And I think for a woman, there's something to be said about turning 40. And I can already feel the change, and it hasn't even happened yet. So I thought I'd take today's episode to just kind of talk about that and talk about what changes come in our life and birthdays and all the happy things. If you've turned 40 before, I wonder if this is something that you felt as well, but there's an absolute I don't give a fuck happening, and it's always been present, but now it's like 100% my personality. It's like I am unfazable. I am unfrazzleable. I've already been working really hard over the last 5, almost 6 years since my father's passed to just focus on the things that matter in life, being present. What is it really all about? But man, the last 2% really got kicked out and feels like it shall never return again. And it's so rewarding and so satisfying of a feeling, to be quite honest, especially for a people pleaser like me. But I remember when my husband turned 42 years ago, he just had an absolute change. It was just like, no, just the most casual. No, don't want to do that. It was just, so beautiful to see because it, is something so easy to just bend at the will of others just to keep the peace or do this or do that. And in watching him start to set really beautiful boundaries for himself, I was like, "Ooh, I like this. This feels good." And, turning an age doesn't guarantee self growth. But if you do find yourself in a place where you are working on who you are, turning 40 is one of those numbers that does feel very satisfying, still feels young, still feels like the world is before you. But there's also a lot to reflect on. And I think I'm enjoying the reflection part. I know that whatever is waiting for me, every moment ahead of the one that I'm in right now is a gift, and I will receive it openly with welcoming arms. But in looking back on almost 40 years of life, there's a lot to be said for going year by year through who you are and what you were and what it led you to become. It's such a humbling experience. It's very emotionally rewarding to be able to, just have gratitude for yourself and everything you've been through, the good, the bad, the ugly, and then being able to take a look at who you are now and be wow, like, wow, literally all of that happened because of what I went through at this age and that age and this age and that age. And it's mind blowing. It's just mind blowing. It's such a beautiful gift. I do teach, if you follow along with me on Instagram, I offer a vision tending class. It is a guided visualization class that is a combination of Hertz music, some guided visualization prompts, and then some journaling prompts, and then a discussion at the end of class. And it was born out of the inner child work that I've been doing for, since 2010, more specifically the last 7 years, and most certainly since my father has passed. And, in unlocking what has made you, you really do give yourself not only the authority, but the autonomy over making the proper decisions for yourself that allow you to keep growing and evolving in the direction that you're meant for. I can't imagine who I'd be if I hadn't started my self-growth journey back in 2010. I just remember the just absolute sadness, the lack of just belief in life. I can't even, it's just so hard to fathom that that used to be who I am, considering who I am now. And I couldn't be who I am now if it weren't for all the many versions of Sara that came before. So if you find yourself in a place where you're like, I want to get to know myself deeper, there's absolutely a lot to be said about going further back into your life and looking at who you are and like how you've come to be who you are and what made you outside of who your parents are, who your family is. You know, there are experiences in life that can really change you. And whether it's for the good or the bad, there is something to recognizing it and being able to do a little internal dialogue about it and process it and, you know, decide whether or not you want to keep it. I've also been finding myself the last few months in preparations, not even really conscious preparations, but I have been on a faith journey. I've been reading the Bible, been taking Bible lessons. I've been having trusted walks with dear friends that are ministers and people that have taken great lengths to learn as much as possible about their religion and their faith. And it is so oddly in the regard of like, I never saw this coming, like what a curveball for me to be completely obsessed with this. I'm completely obsessed with learning everything there is to know about Jesus, that time frame, the Bible, its origins, and then the corresponding religions that are attached to it, and tying it into the way that life works now and seeing the way that society is. And there's just so much to be said about where I have been led over the last few months. And I'm so grateful for it. I can't even like happy joy cry over it because I'm just so thankful for it. And it feels so much like who I've always been meant to be. And I'm so thankful that it happened in the time frame that it did. If this would have happened to me when I was young or even in my 20s, I don't think I just would have bye-bye. No. And now it's just, I'm so thankful for the life experiences I've had before this journey that have just made it all tie together for me in a way that feels so meant to be, so beautiful. So catch your girl talking a lot more about the Lord and how that works for me. And I apologize if that is not something you vibe and resonate with, but every episode kind of before this year, I spoke about that same person as the universe, the creator, the source, abundance, and giving that energy the name of God, the name of Jesus has just unlocked my soul in a way I didn't know was possible. It feels very grounding, very certain, very sure. It is something that I trust because it feels very similar to the love that I have with my husband and the love that I've had for him since the moment we met. And just knowing very concretely in my soul that we are meant to be together is how I feel about my faith journey. And I'm really happy for it. It has opened my eyes up to so much of life that I was just shrouded from before. And I am so eternally grateful. I'm so happy, so thankful. If you find yourself in that space on a faith journey, I would love for you to reach out. What are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you talking about? I want to read it. I want to watch it. I want to talk to it. Clue me in. Bring me in. I'm there. I'm ready. I think another thing I'm really excited for 40 about, I was really getting a little like teensy weensy bit upset that I wasn't going to have like some blowout scenario being 40. Like you think about this number your whole life and then it starts to creep up and it's a couple months away and you're like, oh, we'll go away. We'll go do this. We'll go do that. And then, you know, it's like a month away and you're like, oh, we'll just do like a little dinner party. I'll have people at the bar, the new restaurant in town. And then it's a week away and I feel myself being like, I don't want to do that. And it's a few days away and now I just have no idea what I want to do. There's this thought that just keeps creeping back into my head that like 40 is not a day, 40 is a year. I have a year to fully love and grow into every day of being 40. And every day after that. It doesn't need to be some celebratory milestone year for me to love the shit out of my life and live it to its fullest extent, which I absolutely have been doing for a number of years now. I've got YOLO tatted here for a reason. And I'm just really grateful for all of the journeys, all of the fun, wonderful things that are coming in my 40th year of life. My husband and I have so many huge plans that we know we're going to end up laughing at because God is going to bless us with so much more. But we are just, I'm feeling really alive right now in a way that I cannot give enough thanks for. It's been, man, I feel like 30 years of my, we'll say 28 years of my almost 40 years of my life were so sad, so dark, and so alone. And the healing that I've done and the life that I've been living, and now the relationship that I'm building with God and just my husband, everything, like my life is just deeply enriched in such a beautiful way. I'm so happy. It feels incredible. I've waited my whole life to feel this. And I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I wish this happiness for everyone. The joy and the peace and the comfort of knowing who you are, what you're meant for. I wish it for everyone. It is my goal in life to help as many people as possible find that thing for themselves that will awaken their whole life to all the possibilities that eventually just leads to pure bliss and joy and love. Whew. I'm going to cap it here. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this show, which is one of the great joys of my life. I plan to do this forever. I hope you're here with me forever. Thank you to all the listeners from the very many countries across the world that you're tuning in from. That also blows my mind. Can't believe there's over 42 countries tuning in regularly to listen to little old me and to my amazing guests. I want to thank you for your patience over the last month and a half. Your girl's getting busier with work, and everyone seems to be very busy, and interviews have been a little hard to come by, but we have a lot in store for you over the next few weeks. And I just want to thank you so much for your patience and so much for your love and your encouragement. It just really means a lot. I feel very much like I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing, and it's all because of you. Thank you so much, my Richies. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you for all of the birthday love, and go out there and make life rich for me today.